The next jailbreak season is almost here and it will be themed around pirates. Today, I decided I'll go through all of the items submitted for the season and rate them based on how likely they are to make it into the game. Remember, I'm not rating based on how much I personally like the items, I'm rating them based on their likelihood to get added. If I give something a 10 out of 10, that doesn't mean I think it's perfect, that just means I think it's practically guaranteed to make it into the game. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on the submissions down below in the comments. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. First up, let's discuss the drift submitted for the season. We have the bone drift created by Big Mistake. Unfortunately, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10. I don't think it's going to get added to the game. It's just too basic and it has very little support. Then there's the Dabloon drift from Lolbob. Same as the previous one, I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. I don't think it has any shot of winning. It's just not good enough to get added to the game, and the upvote count is not high enough. Then there's the Treasure Drift from Pleasant Management. This is also not a great drift design. It has slightly more upvotes than the previous ones, but I also don't think it will get added to the game because it does not have enough support. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Skull Captain Drift. Same as the other ones, this gets a 1 out of 10. Then we've got the Dutchman Drift. This one has slightly more support. It has 164 upvotes, but it does not really look that great as a drift. It looks like the car is farting. I'm giving this a 3 out of 10. I don't think they're going to pick this one, but since it has more support, it has a higher chance. Then there's the Oceanic Drift from Sharif. And this one will get a 10 out of 10 from me. I think this drift will for sure make it into the game. It looks pretty good and it has a lot of upvotes, so I think the devs would be motivated to add it. Next, let's discuss the tires created for the season. First up from Rising Shadow, we have the ship wheel tires. This is a really nice idea for a tire. I like that it makes the rim tiny and in the middle, but it does not have that much support, so I don't think we're really going to see it added to the game. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Then from Chess Pro Max, there is a tire sticker, which is the Skull and Sail tire sticker. For the season, I don't think it's going to get added. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10, mainly because of the low support, and that would mean that the devs probably wouldn't be motivated to add it since there isn't much player anticipation for it. Then there's the Bone Snare tires from Chess Pro Max. Interesting idea, but does not have that much support and doesn't look that great in execution. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Cannonball tire sticker. It's not a great design at all and it has low support, so it gets 1 out of 10. Then there's the Treasure tire. This one is a more interesting tire sticker. I do think it has a better chance, but it does not have many upvotes. I think it will get a 2 out of 10. They haven't really done tire stickers in recent seasons, but if they do add a tire sticker, I think this one would probably be a valid contender. Then there's the Barrel from Spirited Jacket. This one has a decent amount of upvotes and it is a good idea. I think out of all the tires we looked at, this is definitely the one with the best chance. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Finally, there's the Pristine tire sticker. Yeah, not much to say on this one. 1 out of 10. Now we will discuss the furniture created for the season. First up, we have the Cutlass furniture from Things Pro. The devs have never really added these display furnitures with weapons that are not in the game, so I don't think they're going to add this one. I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10. Then there's the figurehead. This one looks really cool and it looks great on the walls of houses. The skeleton being more realistic and having a gem that is suggestive of a heart might be a bit too violent for Jailbreak, so the devs might be hesitant to add it. So that's the only thing I could think of that would hold it back. Otherwise, I think it has a really good shot. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Next is the Captain Spin R table from Odd Cream. This is a really cool presentation of this post. I like how he shows off the attributes of it on the submission itself. It's a really cool item and I think it looks great. The only thing holding it back is the lower upvote count. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. I do think there's a chance it could get into the game, but it isn't looking too great because of the low upvotes. Then there's the Treasure Trail carpet from Chess Pro Max. It's decent enough, but not the best presentation and doesn't have that many upvotes. I don't think this one's going to get added. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. After that is the Ship in a Bottle from Inspiring. It's a nice looking furniture. It's just not the most exciting. I think it's more likely they'd pick something else over this. I do think it has a decent shot, especially because it has a good amount of support, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It could go either way. Then there's the Sloop Brick bed from Pirinco. This is a fun idea, but it's kind of big. I don't know if it would look that great in houses. I'll give this one a 5 out of 10 as well. It could go either way. I'm not really sold on this one. Then there's the Peg Leg Rack. Unfortunately, I don't think this one will get added. Like I said, they don't really add these racks or display stands for furniture. I'll give it a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Pirate Furniture Set. This is also a really nice submission. Unfortunately, it has 67 upvotes, so I think it's less likely they add this one. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. Then there's the pile of treasure from Wifiax. I unfortunately don't think there's any shot this one will get added. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. It just doesn't have much support and it's not a super impressive looking item. It's just a pile of gold and a chest. Then there's the giant squid throne from Wifiax. This one is pretty cute and I'm honestly a little disappointed it didn't get that much support, so I can't give it a super high rating. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Then there's the Pirates map table from Inspiring. It's pretty good and it has a good amount of support. I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. It's just not a super exciting or super unique furniture, so that's the thing holding it back. Then there's the shipwreck furniture from Diamond King. Similar to the bed that we just looked at, this one is pretty good, but might be a bit too big and out of place. It is certainly possible they could pick this one, but I'm not sure if they'd pick this or the Sloopwreck bed, because they have a similar amount of upvotes and they're very similar submissions. Honestly, I think it's more likely they pick the Sloopwreck bed over this one. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. It has a decent shot, but if they pick this idea, I think they would choose the Sloopwreck bed. Then there's Davy Jones' Locker from T-Sign. This is a really interesting idea, but unfortunately in execution, it's not done well. This locker is just very bland, and it doesn't have much support. I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. I don't think it's winning. Then there's the Battle Board from Chess Pro Max. It does not look that great. The presentation isn't very good. I guess it would be some kind of wall decoration. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10 as well. I don't think this one will win. Finally, from Dr. Radium, there's the Pirate Chandelier. Chandeliers seem to make for good furniture items, and we've gotten a few chandelier prizes for past seasons, and this one has a decent amount of support as well. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Honestly, I'm not really sure what furniture they will pick. There's a few solid contenders, but nothing that really jumps out to me as a guaranteed addition. Next, let's discuss the rims created for the season. First up, from Small Highlight, we have the Tentacle Grasp rims. These are pretty good, but they are too derivative of several rims we've gotten in recent times, particularly the Storm rims, which also have an eye in the center, and we just got that in the latest update, and this does not have many upvotes, so I don't think they'll add this one. It gets a 1 out of 10 from me. Then there's the Eye of the Kraken rims from Big Mistake, and I don't think this one will get added either. 1 out of 10 from me. Then there's the Pirate Ship from Mood Slight. These kinds of rims are ones that the devs do like to add. We did get one with the Sled Circle rim, or whatever it's called. It's fun, it fits the theme, it has a decent amount of upvotes. I could see this one winning. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's one of the most likely rims to win. Then there's the Skull rims from Fuzzwiz. I don't see these winning. I'm going to give them a 2 out of 10. They did get 200 upvotes, but that was all the way back in Season 13. I don't think people would want them for this season. Then there's the Deck Cannon from Perk & Co. It's a great idea, but I think it probably sticks out too far from the vehicle. I don't really see this one getting added because it might be a bit too complex to implement and it does not have much support. It only has about 100 upvotes. I'm giving this a 3 out of 10. Then there's the Scurvy rim from Ammy Badami. This is a good rim, but it's pretty much the same as the Ship Wheel rim from the 2020 Soccer Ball Challenge. So I don't think we're going to get this one. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 as well. There's always a chance, but I think it's less likely they pick this one. Following that up is the Kraken rim from Spirited Jacket. It's a decent idea, but it doesn't have great execution, and the upvote count is not very high. I don't think this one will win. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Then there's the Barrel rim. It's too bland and not really that impressive, and it has 30 upvotes. It gets a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Cutlass rim. It's okay, but does not have that many upvotes, and it's not a super interesting design. I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. Then there's the Parrot World. This was submitted for the previous season. I don't think it's going to win in this season, and it doesn't have much support. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Kraken rims from Caracal Enjoyer, who was a big part of the community and then left us, but now he's back and making more content. I think this is a pretty good rim design, but it won't look that great when the vehicle is driving, and this submission does not have that many upvotes. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. I think it has a decent shot, but I'm not sold on it. Then there's the Boat Turbine from Gumdrop Taste. This is way too high tech for this pirate season, which is themed around classic traditional pirates. I don't think this one is going to make it. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Then there's the Treasure Map rims. The devs seem to enjoy adding these rims. We got a rim like this for the Pixel season, and we got one for the retro themed season. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I think this rim will for sure get added in the next season, and it will be in the season pass. Then there's the Shark Bait rims. This is an okay idea, but it's not super easy to see the sharks. It is pretty cool when the vehicle is driving since the sharks will be circling around, but I'm not really a fan of these black edges over here that are meant to represent a dock. It would have been nice if there's only one of them. Instead, it just looks looks like a sniper scope or something like that. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. I think it has a pretty good chance, but there's some rims that might have a higher chance. Then there's the Galleon rim from Tommy Baumite. I think this one has a decent chance, but it's not the most exciting rim design, and we've had similar rims in the past. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. It could go either way. Then there's the Treasure Island and Maelstrom from Dr. Radium. These are pretty good, and I like how they would look when the vehicle is driving, but they just don't have much support. I'm gonna give these a 2 out of 10. Then we have the Bone Brig rim from Dr. Radium. It's another skull themed rim, but this one has a little bit more to it than the one we looked at before. It's okay, but not the most interesting rim design, and it won't look that good when the vehicle is driving. It has a moderate amount of support though. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I don't really think this one will win. Finally, we have the Kraken's Bite. It's a great idea and it fits the theme really well. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I think it has a really good shot. Now we're going to talk about the spoilers created for the season. First up, we have the Kraken Attack from Caracal Enjoyer. This is a really solid and cute spoiler, but unfortunately it does not have that many upvotes, so it did not end up getting that much support. However, since it is a quality design, I think it does have a really good shot at making it into the season. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Next up is the Flintlock spoiler from Diamond King. This is not a super great design because it does not look similar to the Flintlocks that the game already has, and it does not have too much support. I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. I don't think it's going to win. Then there's the Pirate Juice spoiler from Lolbob. Unfortunately, the spoiler is just way too big. It's just not going to look good on most vehicles, and it doesn't have much support. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. I don't think it's going to win. Next up are the Pirate Cannons from Judy's. It's a good idea, but not executed in the best way. The presentation is really bad, and it did not get much in terms of upvotes. I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10. There's absolutely no shot this makes it into the season. Next up is the Pirate Telescope from Moodslight. Basically take the same thing I said about the previous spoiler and apply it here. It gets a 1 out of 10. It does not even have 20 upvotes. Then there's the Yarg Hat from Awesome Saucer. It's a simple but effective spoiler idea. The only reason it might not make it in is just because it's too simple. It's not the most exciting spoiler design, and it didn't get that much support, but I could see it winning. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Then there's the Anchor spoiler. It didn't get that much support either, but I still think it's solid and it has good customization. This one gets a 6 out of 10 as well. Then there's the Treasure Chest spoiler. This one is also too big and does not look that great on the back of vehicles, and it won't scale well with a lot of vehicles most likely. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. I don't think it will win. Then there's the Cannon spoiler, again from Tommy. This is a really fun one and I love the animation. However, it also might be too big for the vehicle, and there's another Cannon spoiler that I think is executed a little bit better. I don't think this one will win. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Then from Dr. Radium, there's the Kraken. This is very similar to the one that we just looked at from Caracal Enjoyer, but this one I think is slightly better and it has more support. I think this one honestly will probably make it into the season. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. There's always a chance the devs could go for the Kraken attack instead, but I do think they'll pick the one from Dr. Radium because it does have more support. Then there's the Survivor Supplies from Rising Shadow. This was submitted all the way back in Season 20, and it does not particularly fit the theme of this season. It gets a 1 out of 10. I don't think there's any shot it wins. Then there's the Cannon Spoiler Deluxe from Rising Shadow. This one is another Cannon spoiler design, but it shoots much further into the distance. I think this one is very likely to make it into the season, and I can totally see this being a season pass prize. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I think it for sure will get added. And finally, there's the Parrot Wing from Ocean 1 XS. This one was submitted back for season 26 and it didn't get much support back then. It definitely does not have much support now, and I don't think they're going to select this one. It gets a 1 out of 10. Now let's discuss the texture submissions for the season. First up from Truminator, we have the Carta Marina skin submission. This is basically a treasure map as a texture, and I think it works really well. The thing holding it back is the upvote count. 132 upvotes for texture is not very good. I will give this one a 6 out of 10. I think it has an okay chance, but it is really held back by the lack of support. Then there's the Coral Reef from Small Highlight. This is a good idea, but it's so basic and hard to see, and the presentation just sucks, unfortunately, and the upvote count is very small. This gets a 1 out of 10. I don't think there's any chance this makes it into the game. Then there's the Scallywag texture from Fuzzwuzz. This is unfortunately too basic. Quality just isn't good enough for Jailbreak, and it doesn't have enough upvotes. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10 as well. Then there's the Capsize from Gumdrop Taste. This is a interesting looking one. It's another water themed texture which we've gotten before, but I do think it does have a shot of winning. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 though. I'm not super confident. Then there's the Charged Ship from Dr. Radium. For a pirate season, this just looks too similar to the fire textures we've gotten in the past, and it's not super pirate themed at all. It only has 52 upvotes. This will get 1 out of 10. I don't think it's gonna win. Then there's the Barnacle Crust from Small Highlight. Again, like his other coral skin, this just isn't good enough, and it does not have enough upvotes, so it gets a 1 out of 10. Again, from Gumdrop Taste, we have the Riptide. This has 217 upvotes. I believe it is the highest upvoted texture of the season. It is very similar to the water texture we got in season 16, but since it has a lot of support, I do think this could be the texture of the season. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Following that up is the Buccaneer. I think this is a decent enough idea, but something about the skin just feels off and poor quality, and it doesn't have that many upvotes, only 55. This one gets a 1 out of 10. I don't think it's going to get added. Again, from Small Highlight is the Salted Metal. This one, again, is just not good. It is pretty much just white. It gets a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Kraken from Dr. Radium. This isn't Kraken-y enough. There's only like a couple tentacles on the side. The rest of the skin just looks really weird. Unfortunately, I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. The texture isn't very good, and it does not have enough support. Again, from Small Highlight is the Rusty Metal texture. This one gets a 1 out of 10 for the same reasons as his other textures. Finally, from Ocean, we have the Shipwrecked Racer texture. This is a really cool texture. I love all the details it has. It's really cool how it has the skull and crossbones, the waves, the planks, everything about it looks really nice. It even has racing stripes. The thing holding it back is the upvote count though. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. If it had higher upvotes, I think it would have a better shot. I think it's most likely that they pick the Riptide texture for the season, so that's why I gave it the highest rating, but I'm not 100% confident in it, which is why I didn't give it 10 out of 10. I do think there's a shot they pick the Shipwrecked Racer, even though it has less upvotes. Finally, let's get to everybody's favorite part, the vehicles. First up from Ake, we have the Shark Bike. This is an awesome looking vehicle. I love it so much, and I would love if the devs added this to the game, but unfortunately we haven't had a bike as a season vehicle ever. Perhaps this could be the one to break the mold, but I'm not 100% confident in it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It looks dope and it has over 500 upvotes, but since they haven't added bikes before, I'm not sure if they're going to go through with this one. Then from Pigeon King, we have the Jackdaw. This is an interesting design, but it does not have that many upvotes, and it's not super exciting for a pirate season theme. I hope this creator goes on to make more stuff in the future, because I do think this is a nice looking vehicle, but for the pirate season, I don't think it's going to win. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. Then there's the Ironclad from Bee's Buzz. Unfortunately, it looks kind of off. It doesn't really fit the Jailbreak vibe, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really look like the Jailbreak style of vehicles. It doesn't even have 100 upvotes, so the support for this one is not there. Unfortunately, this one gets a 1 out of 10 from me as well. Then there's the Landlubber from Dr. Radium. This is basically a ship on wheels. It's fun and it fits the season theme well, but I'm not sure if the devs would pick this one because they seem to be prioritizing fast vehicles as season prizes recently, and I'm not sure how fast this one would be. It also does not have as many upvotes as other vehicles that we're going to see, so that could be one thing that holds it back. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. I think it has a shot, but I don't think it's the most likely vehicle to get added. Then there's the Blackbeard from Plasmazilla. I think out of all the vehicles, this definitely has the best chance, but I'm not 100% certain that they'll pick this one. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's guaranteed to win, but it has a great chance. Then from IHT1OVE, or I don't even know how you say this guy's name. There's the Itarip. I love this submission so much. It is really cool, and it has over 1,000 upvotes. It is basically a flying ship similar to the Destiny's Bounty from Ninjago, and it can fit a vehicle underneath it. This shot right here evokes the imagery of a Star Destroyer, and I love that so much about it. It looks so dope, but unfortunately it's very big, and it is a flying vehicle, which we rarely ever get for season vehicles, and we wouldn't get something this OP and this big for a season vehicle. Unfortunately, it will get a 1 out of 10 from me. I don't think they're going to add this one, which breaks my heart because it is a genuinely awesome submission. For the penultimate season vehicle, we have the Corsair. This is a solid pirate themed vehicle. It has about 360 upvotes, which isn't super amazing, but is nothing to dismiss. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I think it has a pretty good chance, but I don't think they'll pick this one if they're picking a vehicle similar to this. I think it's more likely they pick the Blackbeard instead. And finally, we have the Kraken. The presentation on Reddit isn't the best, but on Twitter, you can see that this is an awesome looking vehicle. I love the look of it so much. It would probably be pretty good in terms of stats, and the design is just so unique. This is my favorite submission of the season and one that I want to win. As for the chance for it to win, I would say maybe 7 out of 10. I am not super confident, especially because it does not have that many uploads since it was a last minute submission, but I do think it would be a really cool season prize, and I think it has a pretty good shot. However, the vehicle that I think is most likely to win will be the Blackbeard. It has a really good amount of upvotes, and it has a great presentation. Overall, it's a solid looking vehicle. But that will conclude my discussion of the Season 27 prize submissions. Overall, I think this season looks pretty good, but nothing too unique or too interesting to me. I'm going to play it and grind it, but I'm not going to be super invested. And I think the grand prize will be okay, but not super exciting. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments, and let me know what you believe are the best prizes. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below what videos I should make in the future. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.